Hello, hello, and welcome back to No One Is Coming, The Answer Is You, the podcast that is dedicated to your personal growth and life fulfillment. I'm your host, Ofri Fuchs, and today we are diving into one of the most important topics I find in the world, and that is heartfelt listening. What is the difference between heartfelt listening and just plain hearing, listening? And what can we do? And how can we use this practical, powerful tool to change not only our lives, but the lives of others? So with that being said, let's dive in. In a world where we often find ourselves waiting for someone to come and save us, it's time to embrace one powerful truth. I hate to tell you this, but no one is coming. The answer is you. Welcome to the podcast that empowers you to take charge of your life and unleash your true potential. I'm your host, Ofri Fuchs, and I'm thrilled to embark on this transformative journey with you. So, if you're ready to embark on a journey full of self-discovery, growth, and actually take responsibility for your life, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you're here. Now let's rock and roll. So welcome back, and I'm so glad you're here today. I'm joining you today. I'm recording this after spending a weekend of, I can't even describe this. This has been such a powerful experience. I'm part of the Being community, and we just came back from a 2-day event in Birmingham, England, with the most inspirational people, the most powerful people I've yet to know. And of course, the main event, the lead guy, my personal guru, even though if he would hear this, he would shoot me, Steve Hardison, which is the book of Being, which is called The Ultimate Coach, was written by Amy Hardison, his wife, about his life. And he is the role model of being, and to me, an inspiration and a guide. And so this weekend gave me the inspiration to record this episode about heartfelt listening. Because if there's anything that can change lives, and if there's anything that can shift worlds, is heartfelt listening. And I don't think most of us know how much, we're not conscious of how much we put into the noise that's going on in our heads, how much energy is being taken from us, being sucked out of us, as we listen to other people. And we try to discern. We try to see, do I like this person? Do I not like this person? Do I agree with this person? Do I not agree with this person? What am I thinking? What else do I need to do? Is this conversation too long? Is this boring? Is this fascinating? Is there value in this for me? There's so much noise going on. Do I have something smart to say once he's done? Can I jump in right now, or do I need to wait? There's so much noise going on while we are in the presence of another human being. It could be our kids, it could be our spouse, it could be our colleagues, it could be our boss, it could be our employees, it could be our neighbor. It doesn't have it. Anywhere and everywhere we go, most of us are not fully present. And if we're not fully present, that also means that we're not fully listening. We are not listening with our hearts. And that's why this episode, after being for a weekend in the presence of people, that it is their daily assignment. It's not assignment because it's not a chore, but it's their daily motivation. It's their being. Their being is completely present. This is who they are. This is who the first and foremost is. I am present, and being present is a present. So, and once you're present, you can bring out your present to the world, which is heartfelt listening. That's why this subject, this topic, is so important. And I must admit, I'm not without flaw. I'm not one that is a master of heartfelt listening. I'm far from it. But once we know where we want to go, at least we can go back and see how far I've become, or how far I've come so far. So, what is heartfelt listening? It just, listening, right? It sounds straightforward. I'm listening, I hear, most of us are lucky enough to hear. We do it every day. People are talking to us. I'm listening. You know how your spouse is like, are you listening to me? You're on your phone. Yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm listening. Yeah, I hear you. It's not the same. We want to listen. We want to be present with our friends, our family, our colleagues, of course, our kids. We hear a lot of things that are going on in the city or around us. There's like background noise. Even in a quiet evening when we are sitting in front of the television and we think we're listening, but we're not truly listening. We're not heartfelt listening. So today we're talking about a deeper level of listening, a more intentional kind of listening. This, again, is a powerful listening because it has the power to transform your lives and your family's life and your business's life. And whoever you come in touch with, it can change their lives. So, are you interested? I hope so. What is heartfelt listening? So at its core, it's pretty basic, the way it sounds. It's a listening from the heart. But in order to listen with your heart and from your heart, like I started off saying, you have to be fully present. It's not just using your ears. It's not even just about, looking at someone in the eyes or facing someone with your body. It's about opening your heart. And it's about giving yourself fully. We have a tendency to believe that when we're listening to someone, we're about receiving. But when you're heartfelt listening, you're truly giving. You're giving your everything to that person in that moment. You're fully attentive. You're free of judgment. And there's no urge. There's nothing more important than the person in front of you. There's nothing more important than this exact moment. And that requires availability. And that requires empathy. And that requires understanding. And it requires a level of listening that you can feel someone's energy. You can feel their emotions. You can feel and hear what it is that they're really saying, what's lying underneath, what's lying behind the words that they're giving to you in that moment. So if we break down heartfelt listening, it really comes down to 3 key components. The first one is the presence, and the second one is the empathy, and the third one, which, if I may say so myself, is the hardest one for me, it's non-judgment. I'll explain a little bit about non-judgment, and because it sounds like, why is it hard for you, non-judgment? Because non-judgment obviously is a reflection of, once we carry judgment, it's a reflection of what goes on inside us. Everything is a reflection of what goes on inside us. But let's break down these 3 components. So even if you master one of these things, even if you just put yourself in a position where you want to have one of these things to better yourself in those one of these 3 components, you're already improving your life. So what is presence? Presence is the foundation. It's the opposite of noise for me. When we're fully present, we're fully in the moment. There's nothing else, again, that's more important. That's nothing that's distracting us. There's no phones, no text, no to-do list, no have to get back to this guy on the email. And it's not even in our thoughts. So it's this place of, there's space. We create intentional space to give to a person. It's like carte blanche. It's a white page. So if I'm present with someone, I'm giving them the opportunity to paint any picture they want on this blank canvas. This type of presence is so powerful, it can be felt. It's not just seen. Yeah, I see you're looking at me. I see your body's present. I see your heart is open because your chest is open towards me. It's about, I can look down and hear you, and you'll know that I'm present with you. And what that allows and enables, especially with children, is a safe space. So they have time to process their emotions, to process their thoughts. You know how you're actually, I'm not going to say you're, I'm going to say me. A lot of the times when I hear someone else talking, I already know what I want to say. As soon as they start, there's two things going on. I expect them to finish the sentence, or I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this. Let me just cut you off. I'm being efficient with our time. Don't be efficient with anyone's time, not yours and not anyone else. Okay? There's no rush. Enable the space. It's like if you ever worked with an editing software, you can zoom in to the time frame. So you can have a minute look like an hour and a second look like a minute. You can just expand the time. That's what happens with presence. So if I allow, and I'm intentionally speaking slowly, but if you listen to me right now with your full heart and all your ears, the ears of your head and the ears of your heart, you will find that there are things that you're noticing maybe for the first time, and it doesn't matter if you've heard this talk about presence 10,000 times. You will hear something new come through from within your heart, from your heart to your head, to your mind, to your soul. And if I let someone else be fully present and I'm fully present with them, they will find some new thought that might arise. They might be aware of something that they weren't aware of before. They might hear themselves in a different way. They might hear a different thought, like, I never thought about that. Or, I've never seen that before. I've never felt that before. It depends on if they're auditory, if they're visual, or if they're working from their senses. That is fully present. You're letting someone else feel valued, and you're letting someone else feel understood, and you're letting someone else know that you have all the time in the world for them. And that's a gift that is priceless. That is what will make you the person that people will connect to. It's like, wow, I don't know what it is about that person, but I just feel so connected to them. It's because you were present. Now, the second component of heartfelt listening, powerful listening, is the empathy. Now, empathy is often misunderstood, or it is confused with sympathy. But empathy goes way beyond sympathy. It's not just about, I feel sorry for you. It's about, I feel it with you. It doesn't mean it's mine. I don't have to be sucked into their energy, but I feel you. I love that phrase. I feel you. I feel what you're going through. I step into your shoes and I can feel you. I see the world through your eyes. I hear the world through your ears. I experience your emotion just like you and with you, alongside you. Why? Because you matter. If I give that person that sense of belonging, I listen to them so deeply that I feel empathy for them, then our connection goes so deep and they are free because I acknowledge their feelings and now they can let them go. So if someone is in pain, and just be there, present, and feel them, empathy, their feelings will be able to flow out of them, through them. They will feel validated, their experience is validated, but then they don't have to be attached to it. So they can move on because they were seen, they were heard, they were felt. So we had the presence and we have the empathy. And finally, we've arrived to my favorite and the most challenging, yes, I admit it, it's the being non-judgmental. All right, so let's talk about judgment. Judgment, and it's not about making someone right or wrong. Oh, this is wrong, this is right. This is good, this is bad. Judgment is just about having a preconceived notion. I'm coming with my ideas of the way things should be or the way things should be experienced, and I have an opinion about that. If I come from a non-judgmental place, then I put all that aside. I'm putting all my opinions and all my preconceived notions and ideas and responses. You know how you have automatic responses? Put that aside. Let's not be automatic. I'm telling you, I'm telling myself. Because if someone else is still talking, again, if we're present and if we're empathetic, we don't have time to put in our judgments. because this consumes all of our being. Being present and being empathetic is an active way of being. So there's no time for all that, oh, but I think they should do this. And this is I'm sorry, guys, if you're listening to this, this is a very, very masculine trait. I'll fix it for you. Can you relate? It's like, I want to share something with my partner. I want to share something with a guy friend I know. And I'm sharing my experience with them. And they're like, well, here's what you need to do. And I'm like, I did not ask you. Did I say, hey, you know what? I would love for you to tell me what I need to do. No, I was sharing my experience. And unless someone is saying, heartfelt listening, unless someone is saying to you, you know what? I would love your opinion on what you would do in my shoes. Then you get the permission to say what you would do in their shoes. But until you are in their shoes, or until you have experienced what they're going through, or until you are given permission to say what you want to say, don't. Just be present. Just be empathetic. Just listen to what needs to be said right now. And if you're present and empathetic, you will know, and chances are it has nothing to do with your opinions. And if you want to share your opinions, ask permission. Do I have permission to share my thoughts with you? Do I have permission to share what I would do if I were you? Oh, yes, please. Then go ahead. So I know this can be challenging. It's a whole new way of thinking about listening and communicating, but it's crucial because we want people to feel, and when we demonstrate this, then people will learn this and they will demonstrate this to us. But we want to be able to express ourselves freely and honestly. So we want to demonstrate what it feels like to be able to express themselves freely and honestly. I don't want to fear being criticized. I don't want to be afraid of being dismissed for my thoughts, for my feelings. So we talked about presence, we talked about empathy, and we talked about non-judgment. How do we do this? How do we practice this? How do we foster this? So I'm going back to previous episodes in this podcast. I'm going back to mindfulness. That helps a lot with the presence aspect, because mindfulness, again, is about just being present to what is, listening to the words that come, not expecting, not anticipating. It's about tuning into what is going on, thoughts, feelings, emotions, the space that's created. If I tune into myself, I can tune into others. If I practice mindfulness, then I can center myself and let go of the noise. If I practice mindfulness, I can center myself in front of you and let go of the noise in my head or even outside, text messages, phones, whatever. So start with that. Practice small moments of mindfulness whenever and wherever you can throughout your day. So, and if you're having a conversation, breathe your thoughts away. Focus on the speaker. Do they need to know my opinion right now? Are they done? Are they done? Don't jump in. Try to experience the space between the end of their sentence and the beginning of yours. That is very tricky, and that's tricky for me too. Sometimes as soon as they're done, they just stop for a breath and we're jumping in. So I was thinking I'll talk to him tomorrow. And we don't even let the end come in. Oh, why are you going to talk to him? You know, we jump in with our opinions. Nobody's asking you. All right. So focus and practice mindfulness. The second thing is, let's talk about empathy. How do we practice empathy? So this is really good if you have children, because they're the best. You know, you can practice with them empathy anytime. Just be present with them. But empathy is a muscle. It truly is a muscle, and it gets stronger with use. So try to put yourself in situations where you can practice it, whether it's volunteering, whether it's even with pets or animals, or read books, watch movies, anything or any situation that explores a different perspective or a different state of being. Okay, so when we're with our kids, the moment I'll share with you, I'm practicing empathy with my 8-year-old daughter when she's disappointed. I'm not trying to fix the situation. I'm trying to be empathetic to the fact that she's disappointed. oh, I'm so sorry. It feels really suck. It really sucks to feel disappointed. I feel you. I really do. I know. It does not feel good to be this disappointed. And that's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to fix it. And so try to engage in conversations that are really open-hearted and demonstrate that as much as you can. And third, how do we let go of judgment? Okay, so this might be the hardest step, but once we have this muscle in, once we practice this is really liberating, because we don't know. We think we know, we don't know. Let go of the fact, let go of the thought, sorry, it's not a fact. Let go of the thought that you know what needs to happen or that you have the solution. So whenever you catch yourself forming an opinion or a judgment or a prepared response, like, oh, I know where she's going with this, jumping in, take a breath. Take a breath and step back. Ask yourself, do I really need to speak right now? Do I really need to speak right now? Is it mandatory? And gently bring your focus back to the speaker. Let them have their space. You are not lesser than if you let someone else speak more than you. Quite the contrary. Remind yourself, your role is to listen and understand, not to judge, and definitely not to solve their problems unless they ask you to. So, going back to the significance of heartfelt listening, I hope you get the idea. I want to conclude and reminding you that this kind of listening, this heartfelt listening, I call it powerful listening, present listening, it's not just about helping the other person feeling heard. It really is transformational. It transforms you and it transforms them, and with that we transform the world, and it transforms your connection. It creates such a deeper level of trust and understanding and being. We help our compassion skills grow by using these three skills: the presence, the empathy, and the non-judgment. So as we wrap up today, I want to remind you, no one is coming. You know this already. The answer is you. If you want to create a different relationship, if you want to grow as an individual, as a business owner, as a manager, as a mother, as a father, as a son, daughter, as a partner, as a friend, as a colleague, as a neighbor, as a human being, practice heartfelt listening as much as you can, as often as you can. You can't wear yourself down. You can't tear a ligament by practicing heartfelt listening. So thank you. Thank you for opening yourself and allowing yourself to be present in this very important episode. I hope you got some value of this. I thank you for tuning in wherever it is. And I want to congratulate you and honor you for being here and choosing to grow. I really do value you, and I love you. I'll see you next time.